My name is Jeremy Tank. Welcome to Manifest in a Participatory Universe. So to get started, I'd like you to ask yourself, what does it mean to manifest something? What are you looking for in your life? And really, the question you need to ask yourself is, what does it take to actually bring that thing about or to recognize it in your life? Do you stand back thinking that things can't happen, that you have to be realistic about the world, that you have to limit what you believe? What if magic is real? The universe, the way that things work, the way that people perceive things is just limited. What if everything that is possible or ever can be possible is out there waiting for someone to perceive it? Less than 4% of the known universe is able to be perceived by us. So you just have to ask yourself, do I care? Is that something that really can help you right now? Is it something that you're interested in? Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in the mysteries of the universe? Do you need proof? Is that something you want to learn more about? Or maybe you ask yourself, how does it work? Sure, I would believe it if I knew how it worked. I would believe it if I could see it working. It's a funny thing. I can believe if I see. What if it worked that you could see if you believed? What if we just flipped that and then all of a sudden, everything you ever wanted, anything you ever thought of, you dreamed of, it starts appearing in your life. If you believe it would appear, it starts to appear and you start to recognize it. Would that be manifesting something to you? Or is that just the coincidence of you thought of an idea and something started happening and then another thing happened and then another thing happened? Is that manifesting? When you give it a moment, do you stop and think about the future? Do you visualize yourself taking the steps and fulfilling everything you've ever wanted? Or are you stuck in a daily grind? Are you stuck in doubt? Are you stuck in doubting yourself? Are you stuck in the place of unknowing, of just going through a cycle and struggling day in and day out? Can you focus on something enough to get to the end? Or are you afraid to even start? Are you open to learning about something new? Are you open and willing to learn about something new? Or maybe something old? Maybe a new way of doing something old? Do you ask yourself, can I do this? Because if you think you can, then you can. But if you hold a belief that you can't do anything new, that you're limited, or that life is not going to give you anything that you want, then maybe this isn't for you. But if you believe that the things that are out there are possible, and the things that you think about and dream about and have dreamed about since being a child are possible, then you can absolutely do it. You can live your best life any chance that you want. You just kind of have to make a decision and start putting the pieces together in an order where reality doesn't affect it. And I started thinking about this when I read about a double slit experiment in a book recently. And I spent the last probably year trying to come up with, well, what does this mean for me? How does this all fit together? Now, in the double slit experiment, it describes how electrons and photons and particles, and recently in the news, there was a molecule that they did the same experiment with, and they determined these things work as both waves, as single particles, and as waves. And I'm showing you on screen what happens when one beam is split and goes through the double slits. They kind of have these rays and this resonance, and they come together. It's multiple spots. What you're seeing on the right is multiple spots where these same elements hit. That's saying that what you think is one thing is multiple things and one thing. And so I started wondering, okay, does this apply to thought? Every time we think we have a solution, are we really limiting our ability to have multiple solutions that we can't think of. Because that would challenge what we know to be right and the decisions that we make. If we make one decision and it limits and cuts out all other possibilities because we've observed that to be the decision, then we've cut out other possibilities we can't even think of. And as a human being, we can only think of possibilities we've ever learned or experienced. And there's so much more beyond that that we would just never know. So this is me. I'm Jeremy Tank. I am a brand and advertising consultant. I'm a designer. I've been doing this for about 25 years. And I teach CEOs how to build intentional brands. And building intentional brands has taken me all over the world. I've met with tons of great people. I've had some great adventures. I've opened a couple offices. I do a lot of brainstorming and sprints to help people get in line with this stuff. And the thing is that it's all helping build intentionality, build this idea of there's a future and I want to go towards it. It's manifesting the idea of what we want and moving towards it. So if you're wondering why I'm trying to teach this class, or if you're wondering why I'm here and sharing all this, it's because I love to share. Because I love to educate people and try to share my unique perspective, coming from the world of design, coming from the world of visual things, and coming into the idea of manifesting and the universal truths, the law of attraction. It's just a different perspective, and I want to kind of share it with everyone. This is also because of my mom, the Reverend Susan Samarco. She passed away in 2017, and I very much miss her. And the thing is, she was a reverend. I grew up with her leading me in like metaphysical studies and learning about universal energies. And when I was in college, she actually went back to college and she got an MBA in marketing. At the same time, we were both deep in our careers. I was in design and advertising, and she was in marketing and PR. We had a lot of things to talk about. We understood each other. And afterwards, she actually went on to become an ordained minister, a life coach, a hospice minister. And then before she passed away, she was leading a group of spiritualists to energize the world and help lead others into higher vibration. She was my inspiration. And here we are, just about a month before she passed away. And this is our entire family. There I am down kind of sitting on the ground. I'm trying to look happy because, that's what you do with everybody around. There's my wife next to me and my best friend in the back and my aunts and uncles and my cousins. And when she passed away, I made this illustration of my mom for her celebration of life because she wanted something that celebrates the uniqueness of life and the energies and the co-creating of everything that we are and everything that we do. And I made this in honor of her, and I printed it out real big and posted it up for her celebration of life. But because of her, the idea of planning a future and manifesting that and leaving some of it to the universe and having this ebb and flow of ideas and energies, that's what I grew up with, and it means a lot to me. And so I'm going to share it. But you need to know that, I'm not some wackadoo spiritualist. I'm not a guru from India. I'm not a preacher. I don't really hold to religion. I am a spiritualist. I believe in universal energies. So when I'm coming to this, understand that what I want to teach you is more of how I believe some of these ideas come together and reinforce that with the studies of the brain that I've had to learn how the brain works and why the brain operates in certain ways because it affects how I do my job. It affects how I help CEOs and how I help companies when they're trying to create brands and ideals and values that unite people together and drive real impact. So the thing you have to wonder for yourself is, what do you want to learn? If you think you just want to come into this and make a bunch of money, this is not the way to make a bunch of money. If you want to come into this and think, well, I'm going to get a new car, a new job, absolutely. If you go apply at 1,000 jobs, you're going to probably get one of them, right? If you want to buy a new car, you save up some money, you go buy a car. There are physical steps. This is a participatory universe. This is the reason I titled it this way, because you have to take active steps towards the future that you want. And part of that is understanding, what is your vision? Where do you want to go? And I hate to say it, that's something I don't think a lot of people ask these days. Have you asked that of yourself? What do you want? Where do you want to go with your life? Every day you spend time doing something. 6 months, 1 year from now, are you going to be doing the exact same something? Living exactly the way you've been living? Or do you want to change and go after something more? To go after that, you kind of have to ask, what is it I believe about my life? Radical changes happen that flip lives out like a dime. Just whoop, and on to something new, right? Life, death, everything in between. We only think of the things that we can imagine with our heads. So much happens outside of that. So much happens that we don't even control, that we don't even have much to do with. So here's the thing. I hope that by the end of this series of courses, you will feel that manifestation is the universal order. I hope that you will feel that waking up is the easiest thing to do, and that breaking free only requires focus and patience. And last, I hope you feel that manifestation works for you and without you. It works for me and without me. It works because when we think of what we want and we start taking active steps in that direction, it's going to exponentially build outside of our control. But we have to participate with it. So I've got 6 lessons, and I really hope you're going to enjoy all of these. The first lesson is the universe and the frequencies of energy. It's an understanding about some geometry and basic physics so that we understand how the universe, at least as we understand it, that we can measure, that we can see, that we can scientifically and theoretically and philosophically understand how things are built. Then it's the universe and the clockmaker. Understanding why we experience what we experience when we experience it. Next is the universe and the limit of everything. There has to be a limit to things. Even within the idea of infinity, there is a limit. We can partition out sections of infinity. You know, that's a tough concept, and I hope that you really enjoy this one, because that's one of my favorite points to think about, is grouping ideas of infinity. Here's everything that can be and ever will be, and we're going to discuss what it looks like in little pieces of it. And really, the thing is, that's when we learn how special and how truly infinite we are. Then we're going to discuss the universe and the curse of forgetfulness. That's where we learn how to truly begin to be ourselves, begin to be who we actually are inside, not these shells, not the walls, the bridges, the guardians of everything that we have chosen to become and show the world so that we can protect ourselves from the dangers that we believe we have to. But the true core of who we are. There's the universe and the reality of the physical. The reality of the physical being all of what we are. If you smack your knees, if you touch your head when you have a headache or a sore stomach, when you pet the cat, when you pet the dog, when you put a glass of water on the table, these are all physical realities. And understanding that physical reality has limitations. Ancient Chinese texts, ancient Egyptian texts, ancient Jewish texts, and Catholic Christian texts, they talk about things beyond the physical. There's a congruity to religious and philosophical thought that is starting to overlap with quantum science and physics in a very interesting way right now. And when we start understanding the reality of the physical and the reality of the universe, we actually start to understand why the brain requires a leash. The last chapter is the universe and the manifestation plan, where we learn why we need both focus and release. Why dreaming things is fantastic and it sets in motion everything that we want. But unless we take the time to start building things, and even without a true vision, we start working in a way to enact those plans, then they are less likely to move from the mental, the conscious, into the reality realm. And I promise you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my passion, my unique understanding, hopefully my level of entertainment, and a rounded out form of education to help you understand my view of manifestation, my view of the universe, my view of the connectedness of energy and of frequency, so that you can possibly get just another step down your own journey. Just another yard or foot or inch in your own life. Because I know deeply, I believe that we can all live the life that we truly want to live. It doesn't mean sitting back. It doesn't mean kicking back and just dreaming the day away. And it doesn't mean spending every hour of every day hustling and scraping by and working with everyone that wants to give you a penny when you are trying to give them your life force, because that's what it is. You give them your life force, your day, your energy, your everything. And you are worth more than that. You are worth everything, and your time is worth everything, and your energy is worth everything, and your life is worth everything. Now, in this course, I'm not going to talk a lot about the assignment, but at the end of each chapter, there is a piece of an assignment. And by the end of this, I'm going to help you build a vision movie, something that you can work through and play for yourself at the beginning of the day, at the end of the night, something that inspires you. And if you follow these steps, you can make many more of them yourself. And it's simply using PowerPoint or Keynote, something that you can access online. You can probably do it in Google Slides. I don't really know. I don't use that software, but you probably can. Anything where you can have an image with text and sound to help you tell your brain how you want things to happen. And here's the deal. I am evolving this class. I am learning. I am adding more and more content to it. The more that I learn, the more that I grow as a student of life, a student of the universe. And I really value your comments, your feedback. I'm pricing this class low because I want you to ask questions. I want you to leave comments. I want you to tell me how you feel about the content, about the way that I present, about everything, because I want to make this something that everybody can understand in an easy way. I intuitively see things in my head, in a visual manner, in a very motion picture kind of way, and I know that everybody doesn't. And I know that a lot of people do, but they may not be in the same mindset as I am. So I hope that I will bring a unique perspective and fun, and that you will get everything that you want out of this class. If not, let me know, and I'll give your money back. Because I feel like some of these base understandings take the mystery out of manifestation. Some of these just simple geometric understandings of the universe and physics understandings of the universe, I feel like they make a difference in the way that we see ourselves in relation to everything around us, in the way we see ourselves in relation to the past and the future. And when we truly start to understand who we are and how we exist, it allows us to move beyond being into a state of faith, for everything.